All right, so today we're diving deep into Can We Be Strangers Again? It's a book by Shrijeet Shandilya,
Okay.
and basically it's all about college life,
Yeah.
friendships and relationships, all that fun stuff.
Oh, no.
But what makes this one kind of cool is that it's told as a personal story.
Right.
Like we're reading someone's diary, so we get this really unfiltered look at their experiences.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so relatable.
Yeah.
It's not just facts and figures, it's raw emotion.
Exactly. Think about it. Have you ever gotten a message that just
Oh, yeah.
like stopped you in your tracks?
Totally.
The one that just made you question everything? Well,
Yeah.
that's what happens to our main character, Dev.
Okay.
The book opens in Goa 2024,
Right.
and Dev gets this message that just says, "Can we be strangers again?"
Wow.
And you're just left wondering, like, who sent that?
Right.
What happened?
Exactly. And it makes you think about your own life.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever had to walk away from someone that leads to that kind of distance?
Yeah, that's deep.
Mm.
Okay, so to understand this whole thing, we got to rewind back to 2020.
Okay.
Picture this. It's the start of college,
Right.
but not the one you see in the movies,
Yeah.
This is the COVID batch, so everything's online.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine starting college like that?
I can't. That's got to be tough.
So Dev is at Christie University in Bangalore,
Okay.
and he's part of this unique batch.
Right.
And let me tell you, he's feeling pretty isolated.
Yeah, starting college is already nerve-wracking,
Right.
but doing it online adds a whole other layer.
Totally. And it's like he's missing out
Yeah.
on all those traditional experiences.
Yeah, the spontaneous hangouts,
Yeah.
the chance encounters,
It's just not the same.
No, it's not.
So we're in this online world,
Right.
and Dev's trying to navigate Zoom classes,
Ah.
awkward WhatsApp groups,
I've been there.
the whole deal. And then there's a Kinchan, this guy who's like super enthusiastic about chatting in the group.
Oh, yeah, the chatty one.
And then there's Mayor, who's kind of like Dev,
Okay.
struggling with online math class.
I can relate to that.
It's a struggle.
Okay.
And then there's Manjari ma'am, the math teacher,
Uh,
who, let's just say, has caught the eye of most of the guys in the class.
oh, really? Even online?
Even online. Crushes happen everywhere,
That's true. It's human nature.
It is. And even the big personalities like Dr. Rossi P. George,
Okay.
the university director,
Right.
he's trying to make the best of it,
Yeah.
with his warm smile and that distinctive voice. He's really trying to build a sense of community.
That's great. It's
Yeah.
important to feel connected.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you can still feel that Dev's like longing for something more.
Right. He wants that real connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so then comes this collage project.
Okay.
And this is where things get interesting.
All right.
Dev has to collect photos from his classmates, and that's when he encounters Avantika.
Avant.
And her picture just stops him in his tracks because
What? Why?
she looks exactly like a girl he saw earlier.
No way.
Her name is Arushi.
So there were two girls who look exactly alike.
I know. What are the chances?
That's crazy. It makes you wonder if it's more than just coincidence.
Right. Like, is it fate or something?
It's like one of those things that make you think about
Yeah.
the role of destiny in our lives.
Totally. And it makes you think, what if Dev had never seen Arushi? Would he have even noticed Avantika?
That's a good question. It's like those little moments
So,
can change everything.
okay, so fast forward to 2023.
Right.
Dev is now at IM Goa doing his MBA.
Okay.
He's got his friend Manav, who's like super disciplined, and they're both trying to survive this whole MBA jungle.
The MBA jungle. That's a good way to put it.
Right. They joke about PowerPoint presentations
Yeah.
and like strategic masterpieces
only imagine.
and living on instant noodles and cheap booze.
Oh, the classic MBA diet.
It's a whole different world.
It is. But even amidst all that,
Yeah.
that message, can we be strangers again?
It's still there.
It's lingering in the back of his mind.
like a shadow from the past.
It makes you think about how our past experiences shape who we are, even as we move forward.
That's deep. And speaking of the past, guess who Dev runs into at IM Goa?
Who?
Priyam, a classmate from Christ University.
Oh, wow. Small world.
I know, right? But Priyam is a year senior now,
Okay.
and this guy is a total character.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
He's what you'd call an energetic procrastinator.
An energetic procrastinator. How does that even
I
work?
know, right? It's hilarious.
What paradox?
He's full of energy, constantly teasing Dev.
Sounds like a fun guy.
He is, but it's like, how is this guy even real?
But he adds a little bit of humor to the story.
Totally. Okay, so then Dev gets this call from Professor Mahesh,
Okay.
inviting him to an alumni meetup back in Bangalore.
An alumni meetup already.
I know, right? And the funny thing is,
What's that?
Pavni, another classmate from Christ,
Okay.
she gets invited too.
So they're both alumni now.
And they're both like, wait, are we really that important?
It's funny how we get caught up in these titles.
I know, right? They're not taking themselves too seriously.
It makes them more relatable.
Totally. But this meetup is actually important because
Oh,
this is
wow.
where we finally find out
Yes.
who sent that message.
The Can We Be Strangers Again
Yeah.
message.
Yeah.
Finally. Who is it?
It's Tam. Tam. And seeing Dev's reaction to that name, you can just feel the weight of it.
It's like a flood of emotions.
Totally. And he decides to respect her wish.
To be strangers again.
Yeah, to let her go.
Wow. That's tough.
It is. It makes you think about the sacrifices we make
Yeah.
in relationships, you know?
Mm.
But anyway, this is kind of where Dev's next chapter begins.
Okay.
He starts reconnecting with his classmates from Christ University,
Right.
and in particular with Avantika.
Avantika.
Yeah.
The girl from the Collage Project.
The one and only.
Mm.
And there's this really awkward but sweet moment when she joins his birthday Google Meet call.
Awkward how?
Well, everyone on the call knows about his crush on her,
Well,
so they're all teasing him.
that's so embarrassing.
It's like high school all over again.
But online.
Right. And amidst all the birthday messages, he gets one from an unknown number.
Ooh. Mysterious.
It turns out it's from Tanishka,
Tanishka.
a girl who just joined their class.
Okay.
And this message, it's like a small thing,
Yeah.
but trust me, it's going to change everything.
Really? How so?
Well, you'll have to wait for the next part to find out.
You're killing me.
I know.
But that's how we keep you coming back for more.
Exactly. So much more to uncover in Can We Be Strangers Again? Stay tuned.
I can't wait.
All right, so last time we left off with Dev kind of on the cusp of something new with Avantika
Right.
and that mysterious message from Tanishka, remember?
Yeah.
So now it's December 2021 and offline classes are finally starting,
Right.
and Dev is super excited.
I bet. Especially about seeing Avantika in person.
Exactly. He even finds out they're in the same PG.
Wow, so they're living in the same building.
Talk about fate, right?
It seems like it. But sometimes our expectations don't match reality.
Oh yeah, totally. Like when you meet someone online,
Right.
and then you meet them in person and it's like a totally different vibe.
Exactly. Have you ever experienced that?
Oh, for sure. Sometimes it's awesome,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's a total letdown.
It's a gamble.
It is. And for Dev, it's intense. Like he's even more drawn to Avantika
Oh, wow.
in person. And he gets this idea that he wants to propose to her.
Propose. Already?
I know, right? But he doesn't want to just hop the question.
Yeah, he wants to make it special.
Exactly. He wants to make it memorable. So he plans this whole elaborate thing at Ace Cafe.
Ace Cafe. Okay.
Picture this, a walk in the rain, a stolen kiss under an awning.
That does sound romantic.
Right. But it makes you wonder
It seems
if he's caught up in the idea of love.
Yeah, or if it's genuine.
Exactly. And remember, he's still dealing with that strangers again message from Tam.
Right?
So maybe he's looking for some kind of validation.
Interesting point.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to prove something?
Maybe to himself, maybe to someone else, who knows. But anyway, just when it seems like everything's going perfectly, Avantika drops a bomb.
What happened?
She tells Dev that she's still in contact with her ex Mahul.
Oof. Talk about a mood killer.
Right. And it makes you question if
Yeah.
she's being totally honest with him.
Right, because remember Tanishka warned him.
Oh yeah, Tanishka did say something about things not being what they seem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there are some red flags he's ignoring.
Maybe blinded by love or something.
It happens to the best of us.
It does. And as if things weren't complicated enough.
What now?
The second wave of COVID hits,
Oh no, not again.
and offline classes are disrupted again.
Back to online learning.
Back to square one. But in the midst of all this,
Yeah.
Dev discovers something else about Avantika.
Okay, what is it?
She smokes.
She smokes.
Yeah. It kind of catches him off guard.
I can imagine. It's like finding out something
Yeah.
that doesn't fit the image you have of someone.
Totally. Like we build people up in our minds.
Right, and then reality hits.
It does. But even with all these doubts,
Yeah.
Dev and Avantika have this night
Uh-huh.
where they play drink some beers,
Sounds
and
fun.
they even share a moment of intimacy.
Ooh, things are getting serious.
But right in the middle of it,
Yeah.
Avantika confesses that she and Malo are still friends.
What? So she's still close with her ex?
Yeah, it's like she's giving Dev mixed signals.
Totally. And poor Dev is caught in the middle.
I know, right? He's trying to figure out what she really wants.
It's that classic dilemma, follow your heart or your head. And in this case, it seems like his heart is leading him down a dangerous path.
Oh, why do you say that?
Because what happens next is brutal.
What happened?
Dev discovers Avantika and Mehul together
No way.
at her PG.
You're kidding?
It's like a confirmation of all his fears.
Ouch. That's gotta hurt. It does. And it triggers this wave of emotions.
Anger, betrayal, heartbreak.
All of it. And it's like a wake-up call for him.
Yeah, he realizes he was wrong about her.
Totally. And it makes you think, how would you cope with that kind of betrayal?
That's a tough one. Everyone deals with heartbreak differently.
They do. And in Dev's case,
Yeah.
he turns to something he never expected.
What's that?
He starts smoking.
Smoking. Wow. That's a big change.
I know, right? It's like a coping mechanism.
Makes sense. Trying to numb the pain.
Exactly. And it shows how vulnerable he is.
We all have those moments of weakness.
We do. And it's in this moment of vulnerability that Tanishka steps in.
Tanishka, she becomes his support system.
She does. She listens to him. She's there for him.
That's what friends are for.
And their bond deepens.
Like you're growing closer through this shared experience.
And Dev starts to see Tanishka in a new light.
Ooh, is he developing feelings for her?
Maybe. But there's a catch.
What's that?
Tanishka reveals that she's in a relationship
Oh no.
with me.
So she's not available.
Unfortunately not. And it creates this whole new layer of complexity.
Right, because now Dev is caught in this love triangle.
Exactly. He's got these unresolved feelings for Avantika, and now he's developing feelings for Tanishka.
Who's already taken.
It's a mess. And it leads to this confrontation between them.
What happens?
Well, Tanishka basically tells Dev
Yeah.
that she didn't want to get hurt again.
Hurt again? What does she mean?
Well, remember when Dev chose Avantika over their friendship?
Oh, right. She's still carrying that baggage.
She is, and it makes you realize
Yeah.
that even in the closest friendships, there can be misunderstandings and hurt feelings. It's a reminder that communication is key.
So true, whether it's romantic or platonic.
And it all comes to a head.
How so?
During Tanishka's birthday,
Okay.
Dev meets me here.
Awkward.
Super awkward, and Dev's jealousy is just oozing out of him.
It's hard to hide those feelings.
It is, especially when you're watching the person you love
Yeah.
with someone else.
Ouch, I've been there.
And to make matters worse,
What else could go wrong?
Dev discovers that Avantika is still seeing Mehul.
Seriously. She's back with her ex.
It leads to this huge fight,
Oh no.
and they finally break up.
It was bound to happen.
It was. But it's still painful for Dev.
Breakups are never easy.
But at least now he can start to move on.
Yeah, he deserves better.
He does. And in a weird twist of fate,
Tell me,
he connects with Palak,
who's Pelak?
another classmate.
Okay.
But get this,
What?
they bond over smoking.
They both smoke.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how shared experiences can bring people together.
It's true. Sometimes you find connection in the most unexpected places.
And while all this is happening,
yeah.
Tanishka calls Dev.
What does she say?
She tells him to move on to focus on himself.
That's good advice.
It is, and you can tell she cares about him,
But she's still with me here.
which is frustrating for Dev.
I can imagine.
But it's a reminder that everyone's on their own journey.
We all have our own paths to follow.
Okay, so now we come to the final encounter.
Between Dev and Avantika.
Yeah, they meet one last time.
Like a closure kind of thing.
Exactly. They need to talk things out.
To understand what went wrong.
And during this conversation,
Yeah.
they both realized that they were looking for solace in each other.
Interesting. Like they were trying to fill a void.
It's a poignant moment, you know? It shows how we sometimes search for connection
Yeah.
in the wrong places.
I've all been there.
And as the story continues,
What?
Dev accepts a friend request from a stranger.
A stranger. That's intriguing. It's like a symbol of new beginnings, you know?
The possibility of something new.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Okay.
there's one more thing we need to talk about.
All right, what is it?
Remember how Dev aced his C exams and got into I Am Goa?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out his success wasn't entirely his own doing.
What do you mean?
Tanishka actually lent him the money.
For the application fee?
Yeah. He paid her back, of course.
Of course.
But it was a huge help at a crucial time. Wow, that's true friendship right there.
It is, and it shows how much she cared about him.
Even back then.
But even though Dev is grateful,
Yeah.
there's a part of him that still wishes things were different.
Meaning?
He still has feelings for Tanishka.
Oh, right.
And he secretly hopes that she and Mihir will break up after college.
So he's holding on to that hope.
He is. And he kind of blames Mihir
For what?
for the distance that's grown between him and Tanishka.
It's easy to blame the other person.
When you're in love with someone who's taken...
It's a classic tale as old as time.
It is. But for now, Dev is trying to focus on surviving I Am Goa.
Which is no easy feat.
It's tough. There's so much competition.
The pressure to succeed?
And that dreaded relative grading system.
Or your classmates or your competitors.
Exactly. It's a high-pressure environment.
It's microcosm of the corporate world.
It is. But even amidst all the chaos,
Hmm.
Dev finds solace in his conversations with Tanishka.
They still talk.
They do.
Hmm.
Mostly late at night. Everything. Their days, their dreams, their frustrations.
It's like their own little world.
It is. And Dev jokes that he pays more attention to her stories.
Than to his classes.
Exactly. But it's not always lighthearted, you know?
What do you mean?
Tanishka often opens up about her problems with Mihir.
Talk about.
His controlling behavior, how he makes her feel.
That's not good.
It's not. And Dev, being the supportive friend that he is,
Yeah.
encourages her to leave him.
He tells her to break up with me here.
He does. He tells her she deserves better.
Wow, that's putting her needs before his own.
It shows how much he cares about her.
Even though he has feelings for her.
Exactly. It's true friendship right there.
It is. And then fate intervenes.
How so?
Well, they both end up doing social service.
In relatively close locations.
No way.
Dev is in Ranthambore working on tiger conservation.
Cool.
And Tanishka is placed near Haridwar.
So they're not too far apart.
And they get excited about the possibility of meeting up.
Oh, wow, this is getting interesting.
I know, right? It's like destiny is giving them another chance.
Maybe this is their moment.
And after some convincing, and maybe a few beers,
Yeah.
Dev manages to get a few days off.
To see Tanishka.
He takes a train to Haridwar.
Yeah.
And when he sees her waiting for him at the station,
Yeah.
he's blown away by how beautiful she is.
It's like seeing her with new eyes.
Exactly. And they spend the day catching up, sharing stories.
Sounds lovely.
They even have this not-so-great Momo experience
Oh, no.
at Tanishka's favorite cafe.
Well, at least they're together.
That's what matters. And later that night, they're watching a movie,
Okay.
sharing a blanket and some beers.
Cozy.
And Dev decides to take a leap of faith.
What does he do?
He tells Tanishka how he feels.
He confesses his love for her?
He does. He tells her that he's fallen for her.
Wow, that takes guts.
It does. And you can just feel the tension.
Yeah. How does she react?
Well, she's understanding, but she also tells him that she needs time.
Time to heal from her breakup with Mir.
Exactly. She's not ready for another relationship.
Heartbreak takes time.
It does. And even though she might have feelings for Dev,
Right.
she's not on the same page.
It's a reminder that sometimes love isn't enough.
Timing is everything.
It really is.
Yeah.
And as Dev returns to his social service project,
Yeah.
things are different between them.
Their conversations become shorter, less frequent.
Like they're drifting apart,
And Tanishka throws herself into her studies.
trying to prove her worth.
Maybe. While Dev is trying to deal with his unrequited love.
It's tough when the person you love
Yeah.
doesn't feel the same way.
It is, but just when it seems like their connection is fading,
Yeah.
Tanishka gets some good news.
What is it?
She gets accepted into St. Xavier's for her MBA.
Wow, that's amazing.
She calls Dev to tell him
And how does he react?
he's happy for her.
Yeah.
Genuinely happy.
Even though it means they'll be further apart,
It shows how much he's grown, you know?
he's putting her happiness before his own.
And as they say their goodbyes, there's this sense of longing in the air,
Like a chapter closing.
but also the possibility of something new.
It's bittersweet.
It is. So what does the future hold for Dev and Tanishka? We'll have to wait and see, but before we wrap up,
Okay.
let's take a step back and revisit a crucial detail from Dev's past.
Okay, I'm listening. Okay, I'm listening.
Remember that money Tanishka lent Dev for the CIT exam fee?
Yeah.
Well, he paid her back, but it was a big deal for him back then, you know?
Yeah, he was broke.
Totally. And he even gave her a chocolate as a thank you?
Oh, that's sweet.
It was. But even though he's grateful, there's still this part of him that wishes things were different between them.
Meaning,
Like, he still has feelings for her.
he still wants to be with Tanishka.
Yeah. And he's kind of hoping that she and Mihir will break up after college.
So he's holding on to that hope.
He is. It's tough when you're in love with someone who's taken.
Yeah, you start thinking about all the what ifs.
Exactly. And it's easy to blame the other person.
In this case, Mihir,
Right. He kind of blames Mihir for the distance between him and Tanishka.
it's a natural reaction, I guess.
It is. But for now, Dev's trying to focus on surviving I Am Goa.
Which is its own challenge.
It's intense. There's so much competition.
And pressure to succeed.
The whole thing is designed to push you to your limits.
It's like a microcosm of the corporate world.
Yeah, it's all about performance and results.
But even in this cutthroat environment, Dev still finds solace in his conversations with Tanishka.
Those late-night talks are a lifeline for him.
They help him stay grounded.
Totally. They talk about everything you know.
Work-life dreams, frustrations.
The whole deal. And Dev even jokes that he pays more attention to her stories
Than to his classes.
Exactly.
Right.
But it's not always fun and games.
What do you mean?
Tanishka often opens up about her problems with me here.
Oh, right. Their relationship isn't perfect.
It's not. She talks about how controlling he is.
It's not good.
And how it makes her feel.
Head-trapped, maybe.
All of that. And Dev, being the good friend that he is, encourages her to leave him.
He tells her to break up with me here.
He does. He tells her she deserves better.
Wow, that's a true friend right there.
It is. He's putting her needs before his own.
Even though he wishes she was with him.
Exactly. It's selfless.
It is. And then fate steps in again.
It does. How so?
They both end up doing social service.
In relatively close locations.
You're kidding?
Nope. Dev is in Ranthambore,
Doing what?
working on tiger conservation.
Cool.
And Tanishka is placed near Haridwar.
So they're not that far apart.
And they start talking about meeting up.
It's like the universe is giving them another chance.
It is. And Dev is determined to make it happen.
So what does he do?
He convinces his team to give him a few days off.
And maybe has a few beers for good measure.
Probably. And then he takes a train to Haridwar.
To see Tanishka.
And when he sees her at the station,
Yeah.
he's struck by how beautiful she is.
Love makes you see things differently.
It does. And they spend the day together, you know?
Catching up, sharing stories.
They even have this not-so-great Momo experience
Oh, no?
at Tanishka's favorite cafe.
But at least they're together.
That's what matters. And later that night, they're watching a movie,
It's okay.
sharing a blanket and some beers.
Cozy.
And Dev decides he can't keep it in any longer.
What does he do?
He tells Tanishka how he feels.
He confesses his love for her.
He does. He tells her he's fallen for her.
Wow, that's a big moment.
It is, and her response is
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Oh no, what does she say?
She tells him that she needs time
Time to heal.
to process her breakup with Mihir.
She's not ready for another relationship.
Not yet, and even though she might have feelings for Dev,
Right.
she can't be with him right now.
It's not the right time.
And as Dev returns to Ranthambore,
Yeah.
things are different between them.
The dynamic has shifted.
Their conversations are shorter, less frequent,
The distance is growing.
and Tanishka really focuses on her studies.
Trying to move on.
Yeah. And then she gets some exciting news.
What's that?
She got accepted into St. Xavier's for her MBA.
Wow, that's amazing.
He calls Dev to tell him.
How does he react?
He's happy for her, genuinely.
Even though it means they'll be further apart,
He is. It shows how much he's grown.
he's letting her go.
And as they say goodbye,
Yeah.
there's this sense of longing in the air.
Like a chapter closing, but not quite finished.
It's bittersweet. So can we be strangers again?
What a story.
It really makes you think about relationships and choices.
And how our past shapes our present.
The whole thing is a reminder that life is messy,
And unpredictable.
but there's always hope for something new.
A new beginning, a new connection.
Exactly. Well, that's our deep dive into